Oh my goodness.
Oh man.
It's on Revel S tier, right? Oh yeah, I'm getting an ad. GG. Yo. I know I can see it. That's crazy. Look at me.
What's up, chat?
Hello, hello.
Yo, chat, can you can hear the music, right? Just let us know.
What's up, Dylan P. Dylan? Welcome.
Chat, are you able to hear the song in the
Oh
background?
yeah. Oh yeah, we got confirmation.
Okay, we got it. All right, we're in here. What up, Lukey? One of the champions of UCL Season 1.
And of what was it called? Spring that Dev Dog tournament?
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Spring Breeze, is that what it's called?
Oh snap. Okay, we got almost 20 coming in a day. I feel special now.
Yeah. All these people gonna watch us bozos yap.
Swebby, is that your living room there?
This is like my office, which is kind of like the one room that there's stuff all over the place since I moved in. But you know, it's set dressing.
Gotcha.
What's up, Schnitzel? How's it going, buff?
Everyone say hi. There we go. Ooh.
You love to see it. Yo, what's good, Not Ender? How's it going, brother? That's a Knight of Nana. For those not aware.
Dang, we got a hype train going. Oh man. Yeah, everything that's gonna go wrong in this podcast is Matt's fault.
That's true.
Just so everyone knows. But yeah, everyone who made fun of the CodeSweb name, now you understand.
Yeah, you're gonna feel our wrath for the next however long.
Ooh, I think Matt's pretty cool. That's not a hot take.
And I gotta say the beast part about having Madden call is if I make a joke and I hear him laugh, that I know it was good, so I don't gotta wait for Twitch chat. I don't gotta wait for the +2s to flow in.
Oh yeah. We got all the power. We're actually picking captains on the fly.
Yeah, this is the yeah. Matt's doing a captain draft, actually.
Actually, oh, sorry, guys. This has been all a trick. The draft is right now. So if you're not in Twitch chat, I'm sorry, you're disqualified. So
No, that's true, Succulent. That is true.
I'm not going to mention something. Derek, you know what I'm going to not mention.
Mm.
Yeah, where's Geo? We need Geo on here. I need my captain in here.
No, I don't want him to hear what we're about to say to him.
Oh,
I think
that's
it's better. I think it's better to say it behind his back.
true. Ooh, that's true. Yeah. Just use code
Yeah,
swap.
we should petition Geo to have a CodeSweb.
We got Blazers, of course. This is a
Yeah, well,
podcast. We came correct.
Keeping things serious. And you probably can't see it on the camera, but I do got an Ice Climbers lapel pin, just off
Dang,
rip.
dang. Yes, looking dapper, looking dapper. We got
Mm-mm.
a got my favorite Pokemon, melee Pokemon, I should say. I might not well, I'm just gonna stop talking.
Yeah, I
Okay.
do think we've waited enough for people to, yeah, to matriculate in. So I think we
Yeah.
can get going, Cody, if you think so.
All right. Yeah,
Take us away.
we're gonna kick it off.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Welcome everybody to CodeSweb. Today we're going to be talking about crews, UCL, strategy, what you can do as a player, what you can do as a captain, and everything in between. I'm Swebby. I'm here with my partner in crime, Codeman, Cody.
Code mean.
Code Mean.
I'm kind of
You
I'm
know.
kind of a mean guy, but
Yeah, that's true. Famously, people do be talking like that. And here's the roadmap for today. We're going to be talking about UCL a little bit, last season, how it worked, how people feel about it. And then we're going to talk about strategy, and then we're going to go into the fun stuff at the end.
yeah, what is Act 3? I don't really know what that's about.
I don't know
Um,
what that is. That might be something that we left in. We'll take it out in post.
yeah, we'll take it out in post. But if you came for some UCL review, some UCL strategy, and a little surprise, I think you're in the right place. So
I think so. I hope so.
yeah, so let's kick it off. So
Yeah.
yeah,
So
what
UCL last season, the inaugural season, five person crew battles every week. Last season we had 8-person rosters, so we'd have a draft where we pick players. Captains will pick who they want on their crew in a snake draft style. Each crew is gonna play once per week against another crew. They're gonna do that for until they play everybody, and then at the end of the season, we'll cut to playoffs. Everyone will play with some eliminations based on your placements over the course of the season, and then get crowned a winner. For those of you who aren't aware, this is like this whole diagram at the bottom is sort of showing you what the whole process looks like. Crew battles is pretty good. We'll get into it.
Yeah, so yeah, if you haven't done a crew battle before, you're just tuning in. This diagram kind of shows like how it works. So for example, with the first crew versus second crew, we had a Blue Key versus Kusa, and you can see with the stocks remaining. That means that Blue Key won the match with 3 stocks remaining. And then you can see on the next line, the next player was able to defeat Blue Key with 1 stock remaining. So it just continues on, so on and so forth until you get to the end. And you can see in this example, Scrim, Crew 2 came out on top with Succulent ending with 4 stocks. So that's kind of how it works. And yeah, we're kind of gonna go into more detail from here.
Yeah, and like I had mentioned earlier. So as far as the drafting is concerned, all of the captains will have a pick order, and then they'll go one to however many captains, and they'll pick who they want in order. And then it'll go one to X, and then from X down back to one. Uh, and like with the cruise, there's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of benefits. There's a lot of things that we're going to be doing together. So Cody, why don't you talk about how the cruise look?
Yeah, so the way it starts out is we're going to have a draft at some point. Maybe right now, maybe not. And we'll get in a group chat. We'll have a dedicated group chat in the Discord. And then from there, each week we're just gonna, schedule matches. We're gonna have one match per week, and then we kind of strategize from there. Like, who are we gonna send in for our crew? Because we can only choose 5 players. And then yeah, the whole purpose of it is, we just want to collaborate and improve. Like um, we want to come together, get to know each other better. Yeah, just make friends and kind of have that camaraderie there, and yeah, really just have a fun time. I can say from my personal experience, UCL was one of the most fun things I've done in my career in Melee, and I've been playing quite a long time. So I think if you signed up, you're not going to regret it. So yeah.
Yeah, to capstone that, we've got a couple of testimonials from some anonymously polled members of the studio audience. And while we're flipping through these, I'll since Cody talked about his experience, I'll talk about mine. So with UCL last season, that really kind of felt like the turn of a different kind of era in the upstate scene. Like there was so much, you know, all of the subregions had their little pockets and they would intermingle. But after UCL started in the first season, it really started to feel like everybody knew each other, and it was turning into a like capital U upstate melee scene. And I think it hasn't changed since. And I hope that we keep riding that high for a while, because turning us into the biggest voting block in the melee scene as far as like nouns votes has been kind of beast. But also just getting to know y'all has been pretty awesome, and watching everybody improve. The UCL level up is a real thing. A ton of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and you can kind of see here with the testimonial so far, kind of going over like, uh, yeah, just being able to like meet new people in upstate. It's like a big deal for a lot of people. Um, having that sort of pressure to be on a team and not let your teammates down is also another factor I think people coming in really wanted to experience. And yeah, even right here, just watching matches. I know, like for me myself, like when I wasn't playing a match last season, I would tune in pretty much every single match, other match, and it was always hype. Especially the ones that came down to last stock. So yeah, it felt really fun to watch, really important. Um, and and yeah, I don't really have much else to say there. I think the testimonials here kind of speak for themselves. Kind of going over all the benefits you get from signing up with in the league.
Yeah, and whether you're signed up already or you're gonna spectate, I think that this will be a ton of fun for the next however many weeks as we get into it.
Yeah,
Just like being able to cook dinner and have some melee on with the local homies will be great. Also,
yeah.
if you got questions while we're in this strategy portion, feel free to rip them in Twitch chat. We'll try and get to them in between slides.
Yeah. Yeah. So we kind of dedicated just a few minutes here. Like if you had any questions about like maybe like rules or format, we can answer them here real quick in the Twitch chat. But yeah, like Swebby said, like as we're going on after this, like in the podcast, feel free to just ask questions in Twitch chat. We might not get to all of them, but we'll try our best. Um, Smack to Tom is saying, "I'm new here. What are the rules?" Um, so we kind of went over that at the beginning of how cruise like actually works, but um, Yeah, we have certain like specific rules, like when a match starts. For example, like let's say your team has lost two stocks, or your player on the team, and then another person from the other crew comes in, and it's four stocks versus two stocks. We have a specific rule where both players taunt on the platform, and then wait until the timer hits the next zero, and then you play your match. Um, we actually have Matt has a document with all the rules. So when the season starts, you'll be able to go look at that if you have any questions on like very specific rules or anything like that. See, anyone else have any rules specific questions in chat? Um,
What happens if a game times out? We're not going to
that
worry about that. We're not going
yeah,
to worry about that.
yeah,
We're
that
going to
doesn't.
we're keeping that on the down low. That doesn't happen. That's never happened.
No, that doesn't happen. Um, it's never happened, in fact, in the history of Melee. So it's kind of irrelevant.
I wouldn't worry about it. I honestly, I don't even know why I'm talking about it.
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're ready to move on. What do you think, Swebby?
I think so.
All right, let's get to Act Two.
Right on. We're the cruise adventure. So we're talking about right now. We're going to talk about pretty much anything and everything pertaining to cruise strategy on a broad level. I think the core theme across this pod is going to be that you can make any decision and have justification for it, but we're trying to give you the tools in order to justify your choices and to feel confident in the decisions that you're making. And so we're going to go through all of these points and see how it looks.
Yeah, so this is kind of like the bread and butter of this podcast. Yeah, we're going to go over lots of strategy. Feel free to give your feedback or just questions again in the chat. And yeah, like we said before, make sure to stick around to the end for Act Three. I don't know what's going on here. Choose your character. I don't,
There's still the triple question marks from the beginning, but now there's some more words in there. So I'm curious what that's going to look like.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I
So
got to stick around to see what that's about.
yeah, me too. I don't know what's going on. But anyways, let's get into some crew strategy.
Yeah, I think the first place to start is talking about in what ways is Cruise different than how you traditionally would be playing Melee in a tournament setting, or just like if you boot up Slippy. Uh, and there are a couple of things. So the whole thing with Cruise is that your stock count at the end of the game is critical, both because you're going to be going in with less of an advantage if you or I suppose less of a deficit if you have more stocks remaining than if you didn't. And also at the end of the match and at the end of the league, stock differential can be a big factor in breaking ties. So if over the course of a league, Team A won their matches and won and lost with an average of +2 stocks, that's gonna be a big factor in determining if they're moving on. Because if you have a tied record, you'll be compared on one of those metrics. In order to kind of capitalize on that, you want to be talking about and thinking about volatility and chaos and trying to utilize the positive volatility to the best of your ability. So things like volatile matchups can be really good in some ways. They're also going to be really bad, but you have agency as a crew battle is going on to try and push the entire match in your favor for that sort of volatility. And some volatility like that would be matchups. Like Peach Ice Climbers. If you're an Ice Climbers player or if you're a Peach player, you're going to be on the lookout for a crew on the opposing side that has one of those characters, and you're going to try and push to avoid or find that matchup as much as possible. And really the big lesson is you're trying to figure out what sorts of permutations and things that you can line up to get your win condition online, and figuring out what your win condition actually is.
Yeah, and that's a really good summary of like, kind of your mindset going into to each of the matches, and how you determine your win condition is kind of what we're ultimately kind of going to go into with the next part of these slides. So yeah, let's go ahead and move to building your crew. So how would you say you know, Swebby, like, because this I would say is more actually kind of not fully a slide about captains, but definitely important here. So, like, what was going through your mind in season one as you were a captain, like when you were trying to build your crew?
Well, I think that I mean what I ended up doing was I sort of blocked off I just sort of blocked things off based off of characters that I really wanted to prioritize and avoid, and players that I just thought were good and a good fit for the crew. So like for me, I'm an Ice Climbers player, so that's gonna heavily impact what I value uh, as a captain last season. So like that means I want to be able to scoop up some of the criminally cringe matchups for my character, like the Peaches and the Yoshis and the Samuses. So like that's something that I have to think about. But also there's a lot of good to just like, oh yeah, there's Bing on the board. If I can get Bing, I'm gonna take him.
Right. Yeah, and that kind of like the first bullet point kind of summarizes that. Like, if you're a captain and you're trying to figure out who to pick, it's like, do I just pick quote unquote the best player on the board, or do I say, okay, um, this is these are my needs. This is the character I play, and I see all these other players on the board. Is there a player with a certain character that I can pick that kind of give me an edge? And that kind of goes into the second part. Characters that are good in singles versus crews. We can actually kind of see from some of the data that we compiled from last season. I think Porp kind of fleshed that fully out. But we saw like there was a lot of success with Fox and Falco. Falco especially, I think, was a bit of a surprise. Just given the nature of Falco, can get gimped fairly easily. But yeah, there was a lot of success and a lot of like high value picks with that character. And then yeah, the strong solo main versus counter pick war. Um, there's some players that can leverage multiple characters. Like I was one of those players last year. There's a lot of other players in the league. Nick Primeboyle like can kind of use different characters depending on which match you're setting up. So yeah, actually, Swebby, if you want to talk about stages, because I think definitely with your character being Icy's, like what was going through your mindset
For
there?
sure. So I think that with the way that the cruise structure looks, right? So the first game of cruise is typically going to start on a neutral stage, but every single match after that is going to be on there's one stage ban, and then you're going to be going if you're going in, you're going to be going on your second best stage, or if you're staying, you're going to be on your second worst stage. So you want to make those as strong as possible or as weak as possible, respectively. Uh, Speaking of EduPorp's data, one of the key takeaways that I got from his data is that characters like Sheik are exceptionally strong, especially when you take into account Sheik's worst stage is Final Destination by far in most matchups, uh, at least most relevant like top tier matchups. Uh, and so if you can guarantee that a Sheik player is never playing on FD over the course of the entire season, that really narrows the band of how bad any given match can be. And on a similar note, with characters like Ice Climbers or Jigglypuff, who have exceptionally strong Final Destinations and Dreamlands, you're going to get to ban that stage. But with Ice Climbers, resident Ice Climbers player speaking, their second best stage is still really, really good. Going to Pokemon is gonna be like kind of a halfway point between like the neutral stage and how devastating FD can look. So you wanna prioritize characters and players that have strong second best stages uh and can really like narrow the weakness of their second worst stage. Like if you have a Fox who's really good in the Ditto, but they can't chain grab, that'll factor in compared to if you have a Fox who is good in the Ditto and can. And those are things that you'll want to keep in mind. But also, like, in addition to all of these kind of game relevant factors, there's a lot of like intangibles that you're looking for. Like, what do you think about those, Cody, in terms of like evaluation on picks?
Yeah. So yeah. So the thing is like all of these kind of like uh strategies like you kind of want to keep in mind, but sometimes maybe you just like click with a certain player in the scene, or maybe you just want them on your team because you already have a camaraderie, you work well together, just have like a good vibe with that person. I know, like from my experience being on BBB, like Geo had a lot of people on the crew that he was already friends with, and so we already kind of had that vibe going in there, and I think that kind of helped. Uh, we started kind of weak, but I think as the season progressed, we got stronger and stronger, and I think having that vibe there and like being able to establish that was crucial for the little mini comeback we had. Um, and then also in terms of this, like how I mentioned, like this isn't just like a captain slide. Like, if there's like, at the end of this, when y'all know kind of the captains and who everyone is, like, if you have someone like if you have a team you want to be on, why not just send them a DM? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? Maybe they don't draft you, but at least you're kind of putting yourself out there. That may actually show that captain that you really click with them, and you value what they bring to the table. Um, and even something like there's been there's been ideas of like, oh, what if there was a Falco only crew? Like maybe you just want to say, screw all the strategy, like let's just like ball out. That's valid too. We're all kind of here to have fun as well. So like, yeah, I think that's kind of my perspective on that.
I think that the like homie factor is something that's not to be understated. Picking people that you're friends with or that that people on your crew are tight with can really be good for morale and vibes. Because having good vibes in a crew league like this can really make it feel really nice over the next couple of months.
Yeah, so this was kind of fleshing out your crew and like, how you want to build your crew, but let's go into like choosing your lineup. Once you have your crew established, um, what what factors are you going to take into consideration for each particular match? So yeah, if you want to take it away,
Oh
Sam.
yeah, absolutely. So like if we're imagining a situation where I've already got my crew and we're about to go into we know that we're going to be playing against a different crew this week. What sort of things would I want to be considering in terms of who we're going to play? And there's a lot of factors. Sometimes just it's a matter of I've got these five people available, so we're just going to rip it. But sometimes you're going to have more. Sometimes you're going to have a lot of options. So when you do have that, you want to consider your win conditions and also your opponent's win conditions. And this is when we're talking about win condition, I think of like the boa constrictor chokehold, of like what what sort of things can happen based on my set of players, and their set of players to really make it so that our win is more and more inevitable as time goes on. And there are a lot of things that can take that into consideration. Like if I think a really good example is like 2.5 dogs from last season, where their strategy most of the time was to rip all right as the lead most of the time. And that really puts value on, we're going to send a really strong player in to really just hammer stocks away from whoever comes out first. If it's a lower pick player who All Right has to go against, then All Right will be very, very heavily favored to take four stocks, losing only 1 or 0. And if they do happen to send in a really, really strong player, then All Right can hold their ground.
Yeah.
Other factors include player to player, where like if I'm thinking about, okay, I have my 1, 2, 3 and my 5 and 7, right? If I have a spread that's not my top 5, I want to be able to get the most out of my later picked players, both just for the fact of like we want everybody to play, but also for the fact of trying to win.
Yeah.
And if I can really push, say, my 5th pick Captain Falcon to go in against a 3rd or 4th pick Peach player, knowing that that's a favorable matchup, that's something that I want to kind of push toward.
That's one of the main like considerations, like, while you're in the match, but also when you're kind of coming up with, the 5 players you want to send in for that round, you're kind of thinking about how the match is going to end up playing out. Like you said, maybe I can get value by playing my lower drafted player to squeak out a win against a higher tiered player. But I think one of my favorite rules in the league in UCL was the minimum play requirements, because it made it such that you can't just go in with your strongest lineup every time. And obviously that we want everyone to play, but it becomes especially relevant like towards the end of the season, because if you have, let's say maybe a record where you might not make the playoffs, you're kind of on the edge, but you've already, been playing all of your best players, and maybe the players you drafted on the lower end haven't played as much. Well, you're gonna have to send them in to meet the minimum play requirements. So you really have to, like, as the season is going on, kind of determine, what's a good week for, all of your players to go in. And I think that adds a lot of strategy, to the league. So I really like that. I know, a second point here, like negotiating a crew with your opponent. That's actually something that Geo like to do a lot. So a lot of actually the strategy you talked about, Swebby, it was kind of like, oh, let's just negotiate, like we're going to send in all of the players, like let's say that we drafted like first, second, third, sixth, and seventh, and so they all match up, to kind of make it fair. And as a captain, you have the right to do that. You also have the right to say, screw it, I'm just gonna try to win and send in the best I got.
And,
So
and, and also, I think you do have the right to do the full bait and switch and say, yeah, I'm totally going to send in my bottom 5, and then you just rip. You just rip like captain 2, 3, and then anybody
you
else. It'd
you
be
can't.
BM, but if you're trying to win, that's part of the game.
Yeah, you gotta. There's mind games outside of the game and in the game. Um, so yeah, I guess you have the right to do that. But yeah, and then like player flexibility, player availability. Sometimes your players aren't available like during the week, so you got to take that into consideration as well. So also, this is like not just captains coming up with determining these things. Like this is like constant communication with your team. Like, hey, maybe I don't want to go in this week because I'm not feeling it. Maybe I'm taking a vacation this week. So yeah, it's an ever evolving thing as the season goes on for choosing your lineup.
And I think that that's a really good point that I think we should hammer on, that is that like just because there's a captain and they make the final calls, I think that it should really be a thing of trust between a captain and their players. And if a player says, "Hey, I'm available, but I'm not playing great tonight," or my head's not in it, I think that that's the sort of thing that should be trusted. Or if you have a player who is a lower pick, but they're like, I'm feeling so hot tonight. I'm gonna go in. You gotta send me. You gotta send me. Put me in, coach. I think that that's another really valuable thing, both for morale and for just like the value of the play experience, and like giving an opportunity for people to pop off. Like when Bodie took 2 stocks off of Poseidon last season, dude, that was just like an incalculable like goat play. And
Yeah.
that's the sort of stuff that you got to play towards. And like, dude, it was cinema, pure
Yeah.
cinema.
Yeah. 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 Flex on them. But yeah, yeah. So that kind of goes into like some further slides we have. Um, so we're gonna get into player order. Um, so you know, in terms of like, okay, you've already established like during this week, you've picked the players you want to send in. Um, Now we're going to determine like, okay, we're going to figure out who do we want to lead, who do we want to anchor, and like what considerations do we want to take in the middle part, where we're like really looking at character matchups, skill variance. Can my player take one stock off of this really good player? So, this is the part where you're in the match and you're kind of evaluating risks on the fly. Um, so like one of the things here, so we're saying like stock needs versus stock wants. Um, you know, Kind of like with the example you had before, like all right going in. Let's say all right ends up with one stock left at the end of the match. Do you take the risk and send in maybe, a fifth round pick that can maybe like take one stock and lose one stock? Because that could be really valuable later on if they can squeak by, but you're also running the risk that, all right, just blows you up and four stocks you. So again, it's kind of like what you were mentioning earlier, like communicating with your team, like, do you feel good to go in against this player? Or maybe we don't want to take the risk this time, and maybe we just want to play it safe. Um, but yeah, if you want to kind of go into like what factors you go into when you pick the lead.
Right. So I think the lead when you're talking about crews is it's a really I think it's among the more critical roles that you could be, just for the fact of it's so different than everything else. If you're going to lead in a crew battle, you are conceding that you're almost always going to be playing on a starter. So you really want to have breadth of power. I think the like crew battle tier list would be separated by leaders. Like there would be a leaders tier list and then a any other position tier list. And I think the leader tier list looks a lot closer to the traditional melee tier list that we have now. I think your characters like Fox, Falco, Marth, Puff, like all of the generically good characters are still going to be very generically good as a lead, uh, because their starters are usually pretty good. They have pretty good matchup spreads across the board, and they have a lot of options. And I think that having the tempo of winning the first match can be a crew battle winning endeavor. If you win the first crew battle, you're in a really good position to possibly have counter pick advantage uh, second almost every single time over the rest of the battle. And having stage and character counter picks available can be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, yeah. I think actually like, back in the day, like watching old school crew battles, I think the commentators used to like harp on like pretty much like the most important thing was like counter pick advantage in their mind. Like you want to like set the tone early, make sure you get that win because like you said, like if you can win that first match, theoretically, if you play your cards right, you can be having stage advantage throughout the rest of the crew battle. So like um, it is a very important thing to consider. It's not like you can't win the crew battle if you don't win the first match. But like, based on what we talked about earlier, like just being able to pick your favorite stage or second favorite stage is going to be really, really important. Like I know for me, like, playing Pichu in season one, like I definitely wanted to at least get on FD or Fountain, so I had the at least the possibility of like a chain grab if I was playing Spacies or Falcon. So that was like a really strong consideration, and also like in the section like leader as well, like Pichu, characters like Pichu, even like a character like Marth, those are characters where you're, because of stages like FD, like they can be like really strong, just counter pick plays. So for characters that are really skewed towards that direction, maybe you want to lean towards not having them be a leader. It all just again kind of depends on the scenario, but yeah, it's really important to set the tone of the match, and really consider like if you want to have counter pick advantage. Um, so yeah, yeah, if you want to go into anchor as well.
And like Melee is a game of percentages. So obviously, like you can win if you lose the first match, but you're putting yourself at a disadvantage over the course of the rest of the battle. And I think a similarly important role is anchor, because the person who has the possibility to win or lose a crew battle, there's a lot of pressure there. And I think that while it is an important role in player order, I think the lead tends to have a little bit more. There's more on the line in terms of like the over there's more that could change over the course of the crew battle based on this one interaction. But obviously, you win or lose based on your anchor. So you need to, if you're going to be an anchor, I think even more than character, you need to look out for play style and mental like fortitude, really. Like I think that being able to hold it down if you're down 7 stocks, and you need to clutch up through 11 in order to win. And that's just going to happen. And I think that in crew battles, there's already a lot of pressure on mental game and handling pressure, especially if we're talking about late picks, people who have not possibly had a chance to have a really tense tournament match yet. Because if you're a bottom 25%, player in any given tournament, you're going to be playing against a top 25 player in your first round, and then you're going to like immediately be into losers. So you might not have as many opportunities to get really tense, close matches. And in crews, they will happen all the time because the break points can happen anywhere. Sending in Bodhi when Poseidon has 2 stocks left. Obviously, like if Bodhi and Poseidon played, and over the course of an entire match, Bodhi takes 2, that's just an L for Bodhi, and it doesn't represent possibly how the game looked. But if you're in a crew battle setting, and then now it's down to last stock, because Poseidon took 3, Bodhi took 1, and now they're on to last stock. All you got to do is clutch up a chain grab or clutch up an edge guard. There's a lot of pressure there. And I think on the anchor, there is even more, because not only are you playing possibly a really tight or a really far behind position, you're also sitting on the last 50 minutes of play that everybody in your crew has been sitting with. And you're sitting with that pressure and that feeling. So your anchor needs to be someone who can hold it down in the moment. There are good characters. There are good characters for the anchor. You're looking for characters that that don't have very bad opponents' counter picks, that sort of thing. But like, I think above all else, you need somebody who can hold it down.
Yeah, and I actually want to keep talking about this a little bit, because there were a lot of matches I remember watching in season one. I think It was actually one of your team's matches. I think it came down to I don't remember what team you were playing, but it was Cowbell and you, and then you were playing another team, and everyone in chat was kind of like, who do you send in first? Because like if because you want to get that counter pick advantage for the last match. It's really important. So even though like maybe you go into the match like having an anchor already set in stone, like as the match goes on, like things happen, and you may have to consider like how am I going to actually who do I actually want to anchor? Even if I have like two strong players, like um, it's a really tough consideration, and um, you know, uh, of course, like when you get to the end of the match and you've already sent your fourth player in, there's really no strategy there. You just send in your last player. But like making that decision on the fourth player is really important. And also like considering like your lead, like obviously you're not going to have them to anchor. So all of these like considerations are really important. Like when you're trying to set your team order. And I think we kind of touched on like trusting your players earlier, kind of communicating with everyone, seeing how everyone's feeling, make sure we're on the same page. Um, that happened a lot actually. You know, in season one on BBB, like I think at the start of the season, I think we were all kind of scared to say like, oh, we're not kind of feeling it against this player or this week. But over time, we kind of kept encouraging each other, like, hey, just tell us how you're feeling. Like maybe you need someone to warm up with, or maybe you're not feeling it. And I think that really helps because it's really important when you're setting your player order. So yeah, trust in your players is super important.
Absolutely. Everyone should be talking to each other. In order to get the most information, you gotta know how all the players are feeling.
Yeah, just like how everyone's talking to each other in chat. That's what you should be doing in your Discord chat with your group. Make sure you're on the same page with everyone. Um, but yeah, so yeah, we have sort of the last thing here, mental game. Um, so again, we touched on it, trusting each other. Um, a really important thing is kind of being able to roll with the punches, because when you get into a match, like um, stuff's going to hit the fan. Like something's going to happen. Everyone in the league is going to have a bad week. It's not going to go as planned, or maybe someone's going to have an insane week that you didn't expect, like Lord taking 17 stocks. I don't think anyone expected that. So being able to like roll with the punches, and kind of say, okay, being able to be flexible and say, uh, we're going to have to shift gears and not kind of like let it derail you. Like if someone has a bad showing, that's okay. You have four other players to like pick you back up, and also the players that aren't playing that week that are in the Discord call to kind of lift everyone's spirits. So you really want to be able to understand that things are not pretty much always not going to go as planned, and you want to be able to deal with that in a healthy way. Um, yeah, do you have anything to say about that, Swibby?
I think that the big point is that, as you said, you're gonna be spending an entire week planning over who you're gonna play, what matchups you're looking for, and how, and like anticipating what the crew battle is gonna look like. And then it's possible that game one, everything goes terribly and Dominion takes like 11 stocks. And then now you're just playing from like cataclysmically behind, and you just got to be prepared to own that and look at the board and see what material do we have, what material do they have. Let's get it to the best in the best way we can.
Yeah, I like how you phrase like material, like kind of strategizing in terms of like you were playing a strategy game, because it is like kind of who plays good in the matches, but outside of that, it really is like you're like a strategy game. You're just trying to manage your resources as best as possible.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, one thing I really wanted to talk about was like uh, being able to like emotionally regulate. So what that means is like every player kind of has a different like process on how they play. If you want to take it to like real sports, like LeBron always has his like, chalk and like throw it up in the air. Um, so other players like meditate. There's all kinds of things that players do to get them in the right mindset on to have like their best performance. And I would say like, a lot of times like for me personally, I actually don't feel like maybe I'm not feeling great that day and I don't want to do those things, but um, you really want to try to as best you can to like do what you need to do to like get in a good mental state. Because it's going not only going to help your team, but it's just going to help you have fun like during the match. I know for me, like what I like to do is, sometimes I like to meditate. Sometimes I like to just warm up like a couple hours before and then kind of just chill, not really think about it, and just kind of let things soak in. And outside of the game, like maybe you like to work out or do yoga or whatever it is, like, or maybe you just want to watch a funny YouTube video or just kind of lift your spirits. I think what I'm trying to say is that it's okay to like take the time you need to get yourself in a good mental state, um, to have fun and just enjoy yourself because that's why we're here. Like we're coming together to have fun. Um, yeah, and just kind of do what you need to do there. Um, and then sort of the last thing here is, again, kind of like we talked about, like just as you're in during the season, like check the vibes. Like we're all at the end of the day, we're all just here to be friends with each other, like have good competition, have fun. So yeah. Do you have anything else to add there?
No, I think that's really well said. I think that, you got to trust in your team to hold it down and do their best and have fun. And then you also got to trust in yourself that you're gonna you're gonna get the job done and you're gonna do your best.
Cool. Yeah, so we kind of talked about a lot there. I know I know there's a lot of strategy we covered. If anyone has any questions in chat on maybe like specific strategy that you'd like to for us to talk about, um, feel free to ask. Um, but yeah, that's kind of like we kind of went through the whole gamut of setting up your crew, uh, match to match like each week, and then kind of how you want your mental state to be like throughout the process.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, so Cake Butts is asking when is the draft? It was actually yesterday, so I'm sorry to say, but you weren't drafted, so
And it was this cool thing where nobody knows who the captains are, and you don't know what crew you're on until you have to play. So check your DMs in the next couple of days, because yeah, you're gonna be in for a treat.
yeah, so yeah, the when's the crew about when's the draft gonna start? The meme will never end. Um, but yeah, do you have any final thoughts, Derek, before we move on to whatever Act 3 is? I still don't
Yeah,
know
I
what it
mean,
is, but
I think the real lesson is think about what the possibilities are, trust in your crew, and just make sure that there's an open line of communication between everybody in the crew, and you can get a sense for everyone's feeling in terms of how they're playing, in terms of who they want to play against, in terms of who they don't want to play against, and just make sure morale's high, trust everybody, and think about your actions.
yeah, that's a good summary. And I'll just add to that, like, just have fun. Like that, I had so much fun in UCL season one. I can't understate that, like, um, or overstate that, whichever one it is. I always forget. uh, yeah, it's so much fun. Like, just being part of a team. Like I played baseball like growing up, as a kid, like pretty much all the way through high school. And I had some good and bad experiences in that, but like having this crew battle thing come here and like being able to participate in it, it kind of reminded me of those days, like being part of a team. And it's just really fun to not just like only focus on yourself because melee is a lot of it is like a solo journey, and um, I think this kind of really helps kind of take take a step back and be able to like look at the bigger picture of like what your career or what your goals are in melee. So yeah, that's it for me. Just go in and have fun. Like it's a blast. So yeah, that's all I got.
I think that's a great bow. Now
Yes.
let's see what this Act 3 whole thing is about because I don't know
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know who made the rest of these. I don't know what I don't know what's going on. What?
I didn't work on this.
Oh,
I want it to be clear.
oh
So
snap!
Act
Is
3.
this? I've heard this music before. Do you know? Do you know where it's from? Like I don't.
Oh, it's really nice and soothing. Is this like the is this like the an all-star cast? Is this perhaps the like rest area in all-star mode?
I think so. I didn't play it too much, but it does ring a bell. But we apparently we have an all-star cast. I don't know what's going on, but um, I think we're just gonna find out. Like, if you're ready in chat, like press one because we're about to get into Act 3, and
Oh
I'm
man.
not prepared, so I don't know if y'all are prepared.
I hope everything works out okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right,
almost
let's
almost
rip
scared.
it, Cody. Take us home.
All right, let's rip it. We're going. Oh snap!
Oh
Okay.
man. Okay, this is tough. This is tough because normally when you boot up Super Smash Bros. Melee, you have characters unlocked, and right now I don't see any.
Yeah, there's no characters. I don't. Are we even gonna have UCL? I don't think we're gonna have UCL.
I think this is an elaborate way to say that it's
Oh,
canceled. Oh, did you hear that? Oh my god. Oh, I get it. We're seeing who the captains are this season.
oh my goodness, it's Geo.
Hey
Geo's back.
Geo, I hate this guy. What's he doing here? Oh, I do see that he was four stock by Tet in season 1. That's
Oh
so
my
true,
god,
and I think about that every day.
dude. I listen. I did not. Hey, Geo, I didn't write that part. I don't know. I don't know how it got on there. I was on your team, man. Like, man.
And
But
what's this
yes,
about his about sending him resumes? He doesn't even have a job. Why is he gonna look over my resume?
dude, man, I don't know. Listen, I was part of Geo's team. If you want brutally honest feedback, you want to be on Geo's team. So send him your resume. I know he doesn't have a job, but seriously, if you like that kind of feedback, Geo's your guy.
I hear
And
he balds his own buttons.
he does ball his own butts. And I think what did he get fifth at in teams at Tipped Off? Just
Yeah, we made
that's
top 8. Yeah, it was a run,
pretty
you
insane.
know. It was a run pretty good for third place in
Yeah,
upstate New York.
pretty good. Oh man. All right, so I guess we have our first captain. It's
Yeah,
Geo.
that's pretty
Geo's
fun.
back. Okay.
Giving me
All
the
right. So
finger. Well, all right. So we got Falco. You
okay.
know, but like you know, I don't think Falco's that interesting personally. So
Yeah.
I'm curious what I
I,
hope we get
I
something better next.
oh
Oh, Falco climbers is something I can get behind actually. Okay, we got words. Buffalo, New York, TO. Oh, okay. We got
okay.
AV the Red Falco. AV the Red
And
Falco. Oh, what's this? Somebody who famously won Roxy's Rumble with Swebby and Codeman,
yeah,
which like those guys sound pretty handsome and talented, if you ask
yeah,
me.
I don't yeah, I mean, listen, again, I don't know who wrote these slides, but thanks for the shout out. We did win the UCL test run. But yeah, AV, amazing captain. Actually doing her filmmaking thing right now. So I don't even know if she's watching, but actually, yeah, she's in the chat. So
What's up,
also
baby?
this song is a banger. Whoever chose these songs, they must have good taste. So
They must also be very handsome and talented. That's
yeah,
true.
they must be handsome and talented. But yeah, second captain. I guess we're going right in it. It's like, are we ever gonna get someone that's not Falco? I mean,
I
like,
hope so. I hope so.
yeah.
Like
Someone,
I bet the next character is probably going to be the most interesting of them all.
listen, someone needs to blast these Falcos out of the stratosphere.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh
Oh,
boy.
that'll do it. Oh yeah. What is this?
I am
Oh
scared.
my gosh. Who could this possibly be? Longtime pillar of the Syracuse melee scene. The Honky Bananas attack? Oh my god, it's Monk HB.
Oh my god.
Leading the
Chills.
mountaintop among the most improved the most improved crews in UCL season 1. Monk's gonna lead a great crew. Oh,
dude,
yeah.
what is the Honky Bananas? Can you tell me what
the Honky Banana? You know the Honky Bananas attack. So like there's an archetype of Samus player called the Magic Spell Samus player, which is like utilizing like aerial bomb stuff with like Zairs and canceling your Zair with an aerial bomb explosion to like go into an aerial. So like Zair bomb neutral air is like a classic Honky Bananas attack.
Okay. I'm digging it.
It's a trick. It's really good. It's really good.
Nice. Also, Monk, like probably the most important person for Magic of all time. So if you wanna know more, I think you should hit up Monk.
Hell yeah.
All right, so we did it. So we've got 3 at least. Okay, we're done with the Falcos. All right, no more.
Yeah,
Falcos.
I think we're out of Falco hell. So that's
I think
good.
Falcos are gone. Okay. All right, let's see what happens next.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. They did a little flip. Bro, a star KO instantly. Come on, man.
What?
That's me.
You're a captain?
Oh my god. Wait a minute. It says here that I famously won Roxy's Rumble with my friends Avi and Codeman, which was UCL's inaugural test run. That was like the first time Upstate tried this.
Listen, there were some beautiful and handsome people involved in this win, I gotta say.
Oh my goodness. Mr. Backthrow handoff. That's pretty true.
Listen, what makes you the best Nana in the world? I gotta know from the...
Well, I mean, let's count the ways, okay? In my first match against Lumor, I was about to die game 5 last stock, and then Nana just rips an F smash and I win. That's all talent. You can't teach that.
Nice.
You really can't. Stuff like that, you know, like she holds it down for me so I don't have to.
Yeah, that's true. And I heard that you started playing back in March. So I mean, this is quite the rise. I mean, like,
yeah, I mean, you know, some call me like the greatest penny stock in Melee right now. So you know, it's pretty good being me. I suppose.
Yeah, and all right. So you got. How do you feel about your 4th, by the way? Like, do you feel good about that or?
Oh yeah, I feel great, especially considering I started playing after the.
Wait,
oh my god.
Oh my god.
What's going on? Mewtwo.
Wait,
what is this?
Wait, I'm getting
a new foe
from the commissioner. There's no more previous captains. Is that true?
Are we done? Is this a 4 crew league?
Wait, I guess I don't know. Like, I'm just going to the next thing.
We're back. Okay, they're just talking. Oh, a fox. Oh, this is fun.
Just flying away.
He'll be back. He's just taking a smoke. What is that supposed to mean?
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's Cowbeezy.
That's my boy.
Oh my god.
Teammate.
That's true. And you know he was number 2 in Idaho back in the day.
Okay, that makes the cowbell tag make so much more sense, I gotta say.
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Also, oh yeah, it says in the running for the Fest GOAT among the all-timers for people to show up to your fest. That's pretty true. That's pretty true.
I gotta go to a cowbell fest. I've never been to one.
He's a shower upper for sure. Oh my goodness, this is gonna be whoever is on Cowbell's team is gonna be in for a vibes treat. I gotta say,
Cowbell is the homie, and
a former Knight of Nana, and might I say even the person who like kind of uncovered the Knights of Nana name. So that's a talented fella right there. So anyone who's on Cowbell's crew is in for a treat.
Yes. All right, so at least we got a different space animal there. So
yeah, I mean that's something, a little variety.
Okay, so listen, so we have 5 captains now. I don't know how many we're gonna have left, but let's just keep going. Let's see what happens. Oh, is it a Sheik?
Oh my god, a Sheik. Let's think. I'm trying to think of like Sheik players who might be able to come through.
Blowing in the wind.
Oh my god, there's no words. Oh. DPD. Dude.
DPD? Oh
DP
my goodness.
Doe. Yeah, he loves that stuff.
Oh yes.
Dude, DPD is like one of these guys who kind of pulled up since the last season, and like he was in UCL last season, and then he just started ripping wins.
Yes.
Like he beat Moose and Cowbell. Like he's a heavy hitter in Upstate right now.
Yes.
He's got a lot of potential, man. I'm excited to see what he has in store.
Probably could have been picked in the first round, got picked in the third round, and
Criminal.
I gotta say, that was a strong team.
Oh yeah. Like I think DPD is certainly on the short list of people who will be on the next Upstate Power Rankings.
Oh yeah.
And like to go third round is criminal.
Yes. Yeah, and got 9th at the Melee Circuit Championship. I mean, this is, if you're talking about on the come up, DPD is on the come up, and I think you're gonna want to be part of DPD's team.
Oh yeah. That'll be a good crew.
By the way, I kind of want to just go play Melee like a normie. Like I just want to go to Temple and just stop caring about competitive Melee right now.
Oh, that's pretty true. Get your L and your R button ready.
Yes. All right. We're moving on.
All right.
Okay, so
I guess who's next? We've only got middle row right now.
I know, like
what middle row?
What is up with that? Like, there's
I want some like, you know, some latitudinal like variation, you know.
I know, right? Like there's got to be more to this.
Keep it together. Things are about to get ugly.
Oh my gosh. What is that?
What happened?
It's Big Falco Giant mode?
Wait, what is
this?
Double Dare Truther.
Double Dare Truther. Thinking. Uh-oh. Purveyor of the B jump? What? Dude, there's no way.
Wait, winner?
They won the DevDog Invitational Spring Breeze. They're from S tier. Dude, the stream is so boring.
Oh my god.
It's Blukey? Oh my goodness.
Blukey.
No way.
Salute.
Give
Incredible.
It up. Give it up.
This is, oh my god.
Wow.
I did not expect this.
And what a banger photograph, by the way.
Yes. Can you need to take more photographs, because this is, it's top tier. Best one so far.
Oh yeah, that's really, really good.
Wait, what is a B jump? Can someone tell me what?
You know the B jump? Oh, well, I switched my controller to B jump because of Blukey.
Oh wow.
You know, Z jump.
Change it to B jump. Okay.
Yeah, B jump.
Wow. Okay. That is, all right.
This track rips, by the way.
Yeah.
Is this in Melee?
It is in Melee.
Oh my god.
Again, whoever picked this like soundtrack for this slide is just very handsome gentleman.
That's pretty true. I think I'd agree with you there.
Listen,
wow.
Listen, if we had to have another Falco, at least we got Blukey in here.
Well, and at least we can rest easy knowing that there's no chance that there's another Falco on this list.
I know, right? There's
like
no chance.
No, I wouldn't bank on it.
There's no chance.
Calm down. This is where the real battle begins.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay, we got dialogue.
Okay. All right, sure.
There will be nothing left to bury.
Okay, I'm stumped. I'm stumped on that one.
I am terrified.
All right, that guy's not in this game. That one, I'm not a professional, but I don't know who that is. HM on Upstate PR. Okay, I'm starting to pick it up. Mortal Kombat? Dude, Mortal Kombat's been doing this thing where they're doing Melee style top 100s, and Poseidon kind of pushed for that. And Poseidon has been like Mr. Attendance Booster, Ultra Homie, holding down the Syracuse scene just by like entering everything to make sure that they got enough players. He's been holding it down there for a really long time. So you got to give it up.
I didn't listen to anything you said. I'm just vibing out to the music. I'm trying to go to the club after this.
I got to respect
Anyone
it.
wants to go.
Yeah, Poseidon on the left here in this photograph. So that's something to consider.
His dog. I'm stealing his dog.
Really good player. He beat All Right at like Salta Roads, and then he also beat Pig and I think Jank for the first time like really recently. Those are some really strong there's some really strong showings out of Poseidon. It's like, and getting HM on Upstate PR, especially while it's not even like the only competitive game you play, is really aspiring.
Also one of the season 1 winners, so
that's true. That's true. Okay, so at least, you know, we have a little bit of vertical action here. There's a Falco up there, and there's like,
it looks like, I guess we're done here. I mean,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that must be it, right? We had 8 last time.
Yeah. So
probably-
I
yeah.
mean, yeah. So listen, everyone, it's been great, like, for y'all tuning in. Thank you so much for joining the podcast. You know, we finally got our A captain.
Yeah, let's just... Oh my god. Oh my god. Negative Falco. Is that like... I'm trying to... It's like a floaty. He has a really short jump. He's cool. Okay. This guy, number 2 on Fall PSU. Oh, it's Geo Jr. Dude, it's Lucas.
Yo.
With the craziest photo submission in human history, by the way.
Oh my god. Listen, the last 2 people, I am terrified. I'm scared.
Oh my gosh.
Fatalities. This
And,
guy's
like...
coming in with a army. That's what it sounds like.
Wow. Okay, so like we've got 4 Falcos. Like Lumor is kind of gonna come out with a vengeance because he, despite like not being on PR, I think that's a lot, mostly in part because he wasn't here for most of the season. So this is gonna be a really strong contender as well. We've got a lot of heavy hitters on this on this captain roster.
We do. And we haven't fleshed out the bottom. There can't just be 9 captains. That'd be weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm cool for 9 captains. That means you got a bye week or something.
Hopefully we can flesh out the bottom row. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Let's see what happens, I guess.
What the hell? That's a meme. That's got to be a meme.
That's got to be a meme.
And that's 2 characters. Dude, Pichu got their shield broken? Oh my god. Low Tide City 2021 low tier tournament winner. There's only one person who that could be. And they won Roxy's Rumble with Avi and Swebby. That's like UCL's inaugural test run. That's
I'm
you.
a captain?
Dude, did you know?
I didn't know I was a captain.
Oh my god.
What is going on?
Well, congratulations, and I'm sorry that happened to you.
This is not fair. I had no time to prepare.
Oh my goodness. The Pichu Go, that's definitely true. Like there's no contention on that one.
Listen, again, I did not put the last 2 bullets on here, but listen, I'm not going to argue with it. So, yeah, I mean, we won, I guess, with the inaugural thing. So,
I mean, that's pretty good. I mean, what are the odds that all 3 players who won Roxy's Rumble, UCL's inaugural test run, are captaining this season?
Yeah. So I guess I'm going to spill the beans. We got our 10 captains. So, like, I guess what do we have next, Swebby? Like, is there anything?
Well, I mean,
else?
I think all the captains are like really big and all this stuff, but they only there's all these 10 captains, they only make up a portion of the league. And I think that the most important part is everybody else who's signed up, who's spectating, who's going to be riding along with all of us, making sure that we have fun. We all do our best. We have a good time. So shout outs to everybody who signed up. Shout outs to everybody who's going to watch. Shout outs to everyone who's going to talk about it. We're in for a treat over the next couple of weeks and months. And I'm excited to be along for the ride with all of you.
Yeah. And it's been great doing the podcast. I've been Codeman. Pleasure doing this with you. And we're gonna leave you with the draft date, the order, and the colors. So we're signing off.
Thanks for hanging, everybody. Catch us on Monday, June 16th, 7:30 p.m. This upcoming week.
Thanks for joining.
Thank you for watching.
Okay. Sure.
Good night, everybody.